Guys really stood out today, and they had to. Bolu and Josh Kelly, we were down 4 running backs, and so we had to adjust practice a little bit. You know, 4 guys for various reasons, both the Starkses and Soso and Nate Soso, and Brandon Stevens. So those 2 guys were outstanding. I mean, they just stepped up and they just went and went and went and went and went and went and went. It was really impressive. It was fun to see. They competed and they set just a great example for what you want out of your players every single day. So we'll build off of that. Obviously, you want guys out practicing, but when guys can't practice and you get that kind of effort, it's something you can really build on. So from that standpoint, it was great. In the last 2 days, we've gotten so many snaps of good football. I mean, the situations that we've worked, the competitiveness, the way they've cooperated for the most part has been really good. The thing we have to continue to work on is, well, we have to continue to work on everything. We've got to make sure we're doing a good job of taking care of each other. These kids are hyper competitive, ultra competitive, you know, all type A's, and at times in a competitive environment like this, when you're out here for 3 hours, you know, emotions can get in the way, but we have to make sure that we push them to that point, but understand they can't go any further than that, or it starts to hurt the team. So 6 practices, a million different situations, great reps, tremendous teaching, tremendous learning, very good effort. We're on track. It's obviously it's nowhere close to perfect. There's a lot of things we got to get better at, and we'll keep working that way. So it was good.
Those 4 guys, expect to have them back pretty soon?
I don't know. I mean, those guys will do all they can to get back out there. I know that. I mean, we have a tremendous medical staff. Our athletic trainers are great. We got, you know, everything we need in this building to help them get out here, and they'll work as hard as they can to get out here as quickly as they can. You know, they all have different you know, things holding them back or holding them out right now. But you know, when you get guys like Bolu and Josh stepping up like that, it's pretty impressive.
You have Biko going with the ones. Is there anything particular that you've liked with him to move him up?
Everything. His attitude, his work ethic, his consistency, his toughness, his blocking, his memorization of plays, his technique. I mean, everything. It's competitive. You know, no one's going to be handed anything really, and I mean, he just competes and competes and competes and competes and competes, and we are going to play guys that this team can depend on. And right now, he's proving to be the guy that this team can depend on.
Have you liked how the receivers have addressed the drops and kind of?
Well, I mean, look, we have. I mean, we probably have close to 500 opportunities out here in a practice to throw and catch the ball. You know, and that's a half a season's worth of plays. So there's going to be drops, and this is practice, but we address it all the time. They're on the jugs. You can see them over there. They're on the jugs. We're doing all kinds of drills. It's always a point of emphasis. So, you know, I think you have to be careful that you don't emphasize it to the point where everyone gets all shook up. You know, that's that fine line you walk. But there's never a meeting where there's a ball that's not dropped that it's not addressed. There's never a practice where a ball's dropped that it's not addressed. It means doesn't mean you're yelling at them all the time. You're coaching them, you know, and they're conscientious young men.
Do you feel like you have seen progress on that front?
Absolutely. You know, I mean, look, here's the problem: is if you get into a practice setting, and every time someone drops one, you go, oh, here we go, just like before, then it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, you know. And like I said, if you can have 500 opportunities to catch the ball in a practice, there's gonna be some drops. You know, that doesn't mean we want them. Well, you know, if you say what's the appropriate number, I'd say 0. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I know that there's a realism to it as well.
Sonny, it seems like you've been managing him later in practices with playing time. Is that something that you're going to have to watch kind of all season just because of his age and his experience and injury history?
Absolutely so. Yeah, he's 24 years old. He's coming off of an injury. And we want to make sure that, you know, he is as sharp as can be on Sundays, Fridays, and Saturdays when we play our games. And so if that takes a little bit of management, you know, early in the season, then we'll do that. I mean, we're talking about a 330-pound man. You know, that's a lot of stress on a body, so we want to manage it. But what a great addition to this team. I mean, you know, you see him out here, but the things in the locker room and the meeting rooms, and it was so funny the other day. Yesterday, he comes into the team meeting room and he goes, Coach, can you play Cotton Eye Joe? And I go, Cotton Eye Joe? And first of all, I didn't understand him. Like, Cotton Eye what? Like, I couldn't understand him. And finally got it. I said, say it slowly. Cotton Eye Joe. And I go, why? And he goes, that's the first song I heard when I came to America. So we always play music in our team meetings, so I played Cotton Eye Joe, and everyone's walking in and go, what the, Cotton Eye Joe? And then he said, oh, can you play The Devil Went Down to Georgia, or whatever, the Charlie Daniels band? I said, because that was the second song that I knew. And he's singing along to Cotton Eye Joe, and nobody else in the team even knows who the heck, the Charlie Daniels band is, or I don't know who sang Cotton Eye Joe. So if Chris Foster's here, we could ask him, because that's kind of older. He'll watch it. He'll like that.
I'm getting up there.
No, you're not. You're nowhere near as old as Chris.
None of us are.
So
another Lokini at middle linebacker.
Yeah.
What do you like about that?
I like the fact that it gives us right now, and the guys are competing, our three most consistent linebackers on the field at the same time, really playing positions that their body types are built for. Lokini is the classic Mike linebacker. He's a 250-pound thumper, and that's what you want your Mike linebacker to be. Kenny Young, even though he's all Pac-12 as middle linebacker, his body type, he's a 230-pound guy, 231, 232-pound guy that can really run. So he's your will linebacker. And then Josh Woods is your long, 235-pound, athletic, fast, can cover, Sam linebacker. So they just fit the positions perfectly. And then when we go to nickel, we can take Kenny out, and Josh and Kenny are still in there playing those positions. So, there's a lot of guys competing for those spots. I think that Breland's making progress. I think that Chris Barnes is making progress. One guy that's just really jumping out at me, you guys always ask me who's jumping out, Mike. Mike is doing some really good things. You're starting to see, what we saw in Mike when we recruited him. He's trimming down, he's getting in shape, he understands the system, he's happy, he's his discipline is good, and it's good to see that.
And that's that middle linebacker he's been working.
Well, he's been playing a little Mike and a little Will. He's probably, as he trims up a little bit more and gets a little bit more in shape, he's probably more of your classic Will linebacker. I'm not sure if everyone always understands the difference. You guys do. Sam, and Mike, and a Will, what their job descriptions are and their position parameters and profiles, but he's really probably a classic Will. Just like Kenny Young's. Kenny Young's going to be a Will linebacker in the National Football League. He'll never be a Mike linebacker.
Yeah.
So, it's really good.
What were some of the things that happened with Jordan Lasley today?
Well, he had a test.
Okay.
So he was out late. He had a huge test today. So he came on the field late, and then we just have to help Jordan just manage his emotions sometimes. He's, as we all know, one of the things that makes him so fun to be around, and a guy that we love to watch on Saturday, is he plays with great emotion. But he has got to be able to play with great emotion and not become emotional. And sometimes he trips over himself. So we're just working on reining him in. So, but you can't help but love Laz. So.
Thank you. Thanks.
All right.